Hi friends, welcome to my channel. Before going to the video, those who are not subscribed our channel, subscribe it and also click the bell button. In this video, we are going to see about transmission lines. Transmission lines are a set of two or more conductors in a dielectric medium that serves as a path for transmitting electromagnetic waves. Examples for transmission lines are telephone lines, electricity supply lines. PCB transmission lines include microstrips, strip lines, etc. Transmission lines are capable of guiding transverse electromagnetic waves. But if you see waveguides, they can guide only transverse electric or transverse magnetic waves. The different types of transmission lines are open wire or two-wire transmission lines, coaxial cables, optic fiber cables, waveguides, strip lines, microstrips. First we will see about open wire or two-wire transmission lines. In this type, there are two parallel lines which are closely spaced and separated by air. Here, non-conductive spacers are used to keep the distance between the two wires constant. This type of transmission lines are easy to construct, but its frequency handling capacity is very low and also radiation losses are high and they can easily pick up noise. Next, coaxial cables. In coaxial cables, the radiation loss is much negligible by employing a circular cylindrical conductor of smaller diameter placed coaxially inside another hollow conductor of larger diameter. Here, the outer conductor, which is of larger diameter, acts as a shield. These coaxial cables can be used up to 3 GHz for transmitting large signal powers. The coaxial cables are classified as flexible cables, semi-rigid cables, rigid cables. The flexible cables use copper braided outer conductor, center conductor which is thin, and it has polyethylene dielectric. The frequency handling capacity of these flexible cables are higher compared to rigid cables. Next, semi-rigid cables. They have solid dielectric and outer conductor will be thin so that it can be bent easily while laying the cables. The rigid cables have solid dielectric made of Teflon. Teflon is a brand name for a synthetic chemical called polytetrafluoroethylene. Next, fiber optic cables. This type of cables consist of one or more optical fibers that are used to carry. The fiber optic elements are individually coated with plastic layers and contained in a protective tube so that it can be suitable for the environment where the cable is used. Fiber optic cables operate at frequencies near 800 THz. They are used for different applications like long distance telecommunication, high speed data connection between different parts of building, etc. Waveguides are also a type of transmission lines, but they have only one conductor which is hollow shaped and filled with dielectric material, and it is used to guide electromagnetic waves of ultra high frequency range. In waveguides, transverse electromagnetic wave cannot be propagated, only transverse electric or transverse magnetic modes exist. The waveguides support propagation with lower loss and can handle frequencies of about 330 GHz, which is much higher than coaxial cables. Next, strip line. It is a type of PCB transmission line, that is printed circuit board transmission line, and based on planar microwave circuitry. Strip line consists of a strip which is surrounded by dielectric material and sandwiched between two conducting ground planes. These two ground planes are separated by a distance and placed above and below the strip line. Because of this arrangement, high frequency signal remains inside the PCB, that is printed circuit board, leading to fewer emissions, and also it provides shielding against incoming spurious signals. Strip line is non-dispersive and it has no cutoff frequency. They have higher effective dielectric constant which contribute to lower propagation speeds. Microstrip. Microstrip is a type of electrical transmission line and it consists of a conductor separated from the ground plane by a substrate. These microstrip lines are used to convey microwave frequency signals. Microstrips are used to form microwave components such as antennas, couplers, filters, power dividers, etc. They are less expensive than traditional waveguide and also lighter and more compact. Microstrips have lower power handling capacity and higher losses than waveguide. Since microstrips are not enclosed, they are easily susceptible to crosstalk and unintentional radiation. Next, let us see the input impedance of a transmission line. The figure shows a transmission line with input voltage Vi, input impedance Zi. Z0 is the characteristic impedance, current I flowing through the transmission line, load voltage VL, load impedance ZL, and L is the length of the transmission line. Input impedance is nothing but the line impedance seen at the beginning of the line or at the input terminals. It is given by the formula Zi is equal to Z0 into ZL plus Z0 tan H gamma L divided by Z0 plus ZL into tan H gamma L, which is also equal to Z0 into ZL cos H gamma L plus J Z0 sin H gamma L divided by Z0 cos H gamma L plus J ZL sin H gamma L. Here ZL is the load impedance, Z0 is the characteristic impedance, gamma is the propagation constant, L is the length of the line. The propagation constant of the line is given by the formula gamma is equal to square root of R plus J omega L into G plus J omega C. Let us consider the special cases in case of input impedance. Suppose if the length of the transmission line is equal to 1 half wavelength, that is L is equal to lambda by 2. Lambda is the wavelength. Then the input impedance will be equal to the load impedance. Zi is equal to ZL. Suppose if the length of the transmission line is equal to 1/4 wavelength, that is L is equal to lambda by 4, then the input impedance is equal to Zi is equal to Z0 square divided by ZL. Z0 is the characteristic impedance. Suppose if the load impedance of a quarter wave transmission line is short circuited, then we will have Zi is equal to Z0 square by ZL. Short circuited means impedance is 0. So Z0 square by 0, which is equal to infinity, that is open circuited. So the quarter wave transmission line transforms a short circuit into an open circuit and vice versa. If the load impedance is equal to the characteristic impedance of the line, then the input impedance will also be equal to the characteristic impedance regardless of the length of the transmission line. If the load is purely reactive, then the input impedance will also be purely reactive. If the length of the transmission line is very small compared to signal wavelength lambda, then the input impedance is equal to the load impedance. that is Zi is equal to ZL. Next, characteristic impedance. It is also called as surge impedance of a transmission line. It is the ratio of amplitude of voltage and current of a single wave propagating along the line when no reflection of the transmitted wave takes place in the line. Characteristic impedance or surge impedance is given by the formula Z0 is equal to square root of R plus j omega L divided by G plus j omega C, which is also equal to square root of ZSC into ZOC. Here ZSC is the short circuited impedance and ZOC is the open circuited impedance of the transmission line. R, L, G and C are the resistance, inductance, conductance and capacitance per unit length of the transmission line. For lossless line, the characteristic impedance is given by Z0 is equal to square root of L by C. Next, normalized impedance. It is the ratio of impedance to the characteristic impedance of the transmission line. For example, normalized load impedance is given by ZNL is equal to ZL divided by Z0. Normalized load impedance is also equal to 1 plus gamma divided by 1 minus gamma. Here gamma is the reflection coefficient. Next, electrical path length. The electrical path length of the transmission line is given by the formula L is equal to beta into L radians. This can also be expressed in terms of wavelength since 360 degree corresponds to 2 pi radians, which corresponds to lambda. That is wavelength of the line. Next, velocity factor. It is the ratio of wave propagation velocity of a transmission line to the speed of light in vacuum. This velocity factor is purely a factor of relative permittivity, that is dielectric constant of the insulating material used between the conductors. Velocity factor is given by the formula V by C. V is the velocity of wave propagation, C is the velocity of light in vacuum, which is also equal to 1 by square root of epsilon r. Epsilon r is the relative permittivity or dielectric constant of the insulation between the conductors. Next, let us see the previous year's questions. First question, this question was asked in June 2014. A coaxial cable has characteristic impedance of Z0 is equal to 75 ohm and capacitance of 70 picofarad per meter. The inductance of the coaxial cable per meter length is given by option A 3.937 microhenry per meter, option B 39.37 microhenry per meter, option C 0.3937 microhenry per meter, option D 393.7 microhenry per meter. We know that the formula for characteristic impedance is given by Z0 is equal to square root of L by C. Here we are considering a lossless line. So inductance will be equal to capacitance into square of characteristic impedance Z0. So substituting the values of capacitance and characteristic impedance as 70 picofarad and 75 ohm, we have the inductance as 0.3937 microhenry per meter. That is option C is correct. Next question. This question was asked in December 2014. It is assertion and reason type. Assertion: the system of propagation in waveguide is in accordance with field theory. Reason: the system of propagation in transmission line is in accordance with circuit theory. Here both the assertion and reason are true, but reason is not the correct explanation of assertion. Next question. This question was asked in December 2015. For a quarter wave ideal transmission line of characteristic impedance 50 ohm and load impedance 100 ohm, the input impedance of the line will be A 50 ohm, B 25 ohm, C 100 ohm, D 175 ohm. We know the formula for input impedance of quarter wave transmission line as Zi is equal to Z0 square divided by ZL. Z0 is the characteristic impedance which is equal to 50 ohm. ZL is the load impedance which is equal to 100 ohm. So substituting the values, we have the input impedance as 25 ohm. So option B is correct. Next question. This question was asked in July 2016. It is match the following type. Voltage standing wave ratio. We know that its value should be greater than or equal to 1. Next, reflection coefficient. Its value should be less than or equal to 1. Next, propagation coefficient. Its value is equal to square root of R plus j omega L into G plus j omega C. Next, characteristic impedance. Its value is equal to square root of R plus j omega L divided by G plus j omega C. So option C is correct. Next question. This question was asked in Jan 2017. The normalized impedance of a transmission line is given by the expression. Option A is Z0 by Zin. Option B is square root of ZSC into ZOC. Option C Z0 cot lambda L. Option D Vmax by Imax into Z0. We know that normalized impedance is equal to impedance divided by characteristic impedance of line. So impedance is nothing but Vmax by Imax. Hence option D is correct. Next question. This question was asked in Jan 2017. A lossless line has a characteristic impedance of 50 ohm. It is terminated in a load resistance of 75 ohm. The line is energized by a generator which has an output impedance of 50 ohm and output voltage of 30 volt RMS. The line is assumed to be 2.25 wavelength long. The input impedance and instantaneous load voltages are given. Z in 50 ohm, VL instantaneous is equal to 36 volt. Z in 33.3 ohm, VL instantaneous is equal to 12 volt. Here VL is equal to 36 volt and Zin is equal to 33.33 ohm is correct. That is option B is correct. Let us see the solution. The input impedance of the line can be calculated by using the formula Zi is equal to Z0 square divided by ZL. Substituting the values of characteristic impedance as 50 and load impedance as 75, we have the input impedance as 33.33 ohm. The instantaneous load voltage is calculated as 2 into the current, that is 30 divided by 75 plus 50 into the load impedance 75, which is equal to 36 volt. Next question. This question was asked in Jan 2017. Arrange the below mentioned transmission lines in order of their increasing frequency handling capacities. Waveguide, parallel wire, rigid coaxial cables, flexible coaxial cables. We know that parallel wires or open wires have lower frequency handling capacity, and then rigid coaxial cables, and above that flexible coaxial cables, and next waveguides have the highest frequency handling capacity. So option B is correct. Next question. This question was also asked in Jan 2017. A lossless transmission line of length 50 cm with inductance 10 microhenry per meter, capacitance 40 picofarad per meter is operated at 25 MHz. Its electrical path length is A 0.5 meters, B lambda meters, C pi by 2 radian, D 180 degrees. We know the formula for electrical path length as L is equal to beta into L radians. Beta is equal to 2 pi by lambda. Lambda is equal to V by F. V is equal to 1 by root of LC. So substituting the values, we have beta is equal to 2 pi F into root of LC, and L is equal to 2 pi L into F into root of LC. So substituting the values of length as 50 centimeter, frequency as 25 megahertz, L as 10 microhenry per meter, C as 40 picofarad per meter, we have the electrical path length is equal to pi by 2 radian. So option C is correct. Next question. This question was also asked in July 2018. Following transmission media are given: twisted pair cables, optical fiber cables, coaxial cables, microwaves. For high rate data transmission system, arrange the above in terms of their losses in ascending order. We know that optical fiber cables have lowest losses, and then microwaves, that is microstrips transmission media, then coaxial cables, and twisted pair cables, that is nothing but open wire cables which are twisted, have more losses. Hence option D is correct. Next question. This question was also asked in July 2018. This assertion and reason type: for transmission lines having their length equal to odd multiples of lambda by 4, the following expressions are given: sin beta L is equal to plus or minus 1 and cos beta L is equal to 0. Reason: under the above conditions, that is for odd multiples of quarter wavelengths, the input impedance becomes equal to Z is equal to Z0 cos h alpha L divided by sin h alpha L. We know that beta is equal to 2 pi by lambda. So sin beta L is equal to sin 2 pi by lambda. They have given length as odd multiples of lambda by 4. So for odd multiples, we have 2n plus 1 into lambda by 4. Simplifying, we have sin into pi by 2 2n plus 1, which is nothing but plus or minus 1. That is for odd multiples of pi by 2, we have sin value as plus 1 or minus 1. Similarly, we have cos beta L is equal to cos 2 pi by lambda into 2n plus 1 into lambda by 4, which is equal to cos pi by 2 into 2n plus 1, which is equal to 0. For odd multiples of quarter wavelengths, we have the input impedance formula as Zi is equal to Z0 square divided by ZL. So answer A is true, but reason is false. Next question. This question was asked in June 2019. Velocity factor of transmission line is directly proportional to the dielectric constants of insulation between conductors. Option B is inversely proportional to the dielectric constant of insulation between conductors. Option C is inversely proportional to the square root of dielectric constant of insulation between conductors. Option D does not depend on dielectric constant of insulation between conductors. We know that the velocity factor is inversely proportional to the square root of dielectric constant, that is relative permittivity of insulation between conductors. So option C is correct. Next question. This question was asked in November 2020. RG59U type transmission line has an open circuit impedance of 150 angle 25 degree ohm and short circuit impedance of 37.5 angle minus 35 degree ohm. The value of characteristic impedance is given by option A 4 angle minus 25 degree ohm, option B 75 angle minus 5 degree ohm, option C 150 angle 25 degree ohm, option D 37.5 angle minus 35 degree ohm. We know the formula for characteristic impedance as Z0 is equal to square root of ZOC into ZSC, which is nothing but open circuited impedance, that is 150 angle 25 degree, and short circuit impedance 37.5 angle minus 35 degree. Multiplying the magnitudes, we have 150 into 37.5, which is equal to 5625, and the arguments get added, that is 25 plus minus 35 degree, which is equal to minus 10 degree. Square root of 5625 is equal to 75, and square root of angle is nothing but half of the angle. So square root of angle minus 10 degree is equal to angle minus 5 degree. So the characteristic impedance is given by Z0 is equal to 75 angle minus 5 degree ohm. So option B is correct. Thanks for watching the video. For more videos, don't forget to subscribe our channel.